From being benched in the national championship game to one of the NFL's highest paid players, Jalen Hurts is one of the most resilient players in recent memory. This is part 1, the benching. Being the highly recruited player in the class of 2016, Jalen brought a dual threat element to the Crimson Tide, something that had started to take over college football. It's known that Hugh Freeze and Ole Miss helped change Nick Saban's stance on the changing pace of the game. The Rebels beat Alabama in 2014 and 2015. Saban noted that they were struggling with the pace of play, struggling with RPOs, struggling with sort of this new age of football. If you can't beat them, you got to join them. This is when he hired offensive coordinator Lane Kiffin and started to recruit more of a dual threat type of quarterback, i.e. Jalen Hurts. Alabama started the 2016 season with a neutral site game versus USC. Remember this? This was maybe the most cringe moment ever for USC. USC would go on to lose 52-6. While Jalen Hurts didn't start this game, he took over in the first quarter after a slow start from Blake Barnett. Nick Saban said this was the plan all along. Either Blake Barnett or Cooper Bateman to start, then Jalen Hurts would have a role and would enter the third series of the game no matter what. Jalen got more comfortable throughout the game, going 6 for 11, 118 yards, 9 carries for 32 yards, and 4 total touchdowns. There's that dual threat ability. Jalen would start the next week versus Western Kentucky and wouldn't look back. Alabama went 14-0 before losing to Clemson and Deshaun Watson in the championship game, giving them their only loss on the year. And Jalen didn't blow you away with his numbers over the course of the season. He had 2,780 passing yards, 23 passing touchdowns, and 9 interceptions. But you have to feel pretty good about him going into next season because he was only a true freshman. The 2017 season. You didn't see the second-year progression with Jalen Hurts that you would have liked, especially in the pass game. However, Alabama still found themselves in a national championship game versus Georgia. But it wasn't fun in the first half. Alabama found themselves down 13-0 at halftime, and Jalen was struggling. 3 for 8 passing with only 21 yards. He also had 6 rushing attempts for 47 yards, so he had a little bit of production on the ground. Again, there's that dual threat ability. To provide the offense with a spark, Nick Saban benched Jalen and brought in true freshman Tua Tagovailoa. I think we often forget how crazy this was. Jalen was 26-2 as a starter at Alabama. He leads you to back-to-back national championship appearances, then he's benched at halftime for a true freshman in that second national championship game. I'm not saying this wasn't the right move, but this is the type of move where if it works, you're a hero. If it doesn't work, shame on you. But credit to Nick Saban for making the right decision. Tua went 14-24 for 166 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a pick, including the game-winning score. Then comes the offseason, where we had months of speculation who would be the starting quarterback for the 2018 season. Nick Saban and his staff were pretty quiet about this. By August 2018, Jalen Hurts was frustrated and shared this with the media.
It's like for me, no one came up to me the whole spring, coaches included. No one asked me how I felt. No one asked me what was on my mind. No one asked me, how I felt about the things that were going on. Nobody asked me what my future entailed, and that's that. So now it's like when we try to kind of handle the situation now, for me, it's kind of late. It's too late.
August 27th, 2018. Days before the season opener, the starting quarterback was still unclear. Both Jalen and Tua were listed as co-starters on the depth chart. But who would go on and take the first snap? Tua.